2026 Road Glide Limited. Well, we did a thing. Today's kind of a surreal day, a little bit of a sad day, especially for my wife. She'd become kind of attached to her bike, so there's the spoiler. We're trading off our bikes. The 26s came out and we found a couple limiteds that we just had to have, so we got those on order. So dealership's going to pick these up this morning and haul them in and kind of check them over and kind of confirm the trade values that we've got worked out. Should all be fine. Pretty nice shape. So yeah, let me turn the camera around here and show you the bikes. All right, here they are. It's going to be kind of sad to see them go. These bikes have been great. Mine was a 23 and a half, I guess, CVO Dark Platinum. So it was the first year they came out with the Skyline system. Done a lot to it. You know, you never make out well on all the aftermarket upgrades that you put on, but they served us well for our purpose. I mean, the bars, the comfortable seat, the pipes, the tour pack, you know, lots of miscellaneous things that went on here, the lowers. You kind of lose value on all that stuff when you trade it, but you know, we're putting quite a few miles a year. We're putting, you know, 14,000 miles a year on, and there's kind of an optimal point to trade them off, especially with the CVOs before the values start going down too much. So at this point, I've got about 27,000 miles on mine. And then Vic's bike is the 2020 CVO in white. This was a super popular color. They made it in a couple colors that year, one of which the white was popular. It seems like every time we pull up at a gas station, she's getting comments on her bike, and I'm like, hey, what am I, chopped liver? You know, it's like, she's definitely going to miss this thing. You know, you should never name your bike. She named it Opal, and it's hard to get rid of Opal. So we'll see what happens here come probably the end of February, March. We might not get them both at the same time. I'm not going to say more about what we're getting. I kind of spoiled it a little bit with a couple limiteds, but more when we get a little closer to the time that we get the new bikes and bring them home. Well, this is the beginning of the end for these two bikes. About to get a ride. Chippewa Falls Harley Davidson has arrived. I'm negotiating my driveway in the wintertime. We're doing just fine so far. There they are. There goes number one. Sorry, Vic, Opal's gone. All right, there's Silverback. I don't think I ever mentioned its name in the videos, but Silverback. That's it's gonna miss that bike. It's probably been the best riding bike I've ever had. I'm sure the new one will be equally as good or better. All right, there's the first half of the equation. Bikes are heading out. Maybe in 4 to 6 weeks, we'll start getting a look at some new ones. And away they go. All right, so we did a thing, as I mentioned a while back. Leaving the dealership on my brand new ride. Pretty pumped. Check out Chippewa Falls Harley Davidson. They'll take good care of you. Let's ride this thing home and we'll show you what it's all about. So yeah, here we are, 1 mile on the bike. Gonna flip it over to 2 here in a minute. Gotta start somewhere. Hopefully by the end of the year, we'll be up around 15,000 miles. We'll see where we get to. All right, so first impressions here. The new Limited feels really light and nimble for a bike this size. It's kind of crazy how easily it just then dips into slow speed corners. got the bike home on its maiden voyage of 10 miles or so from the dealership, probably closer to 15. But let's do a little walk around. Let's see what we got. Well, there she is. The 2026 Road Glide Limited in olive, metallic, and black. So coming off a really good experience with the 23.5 CVO, we had about 27,000 miles on that, and just decided it was time for a change. Like that bike quite a bit. We're doing a lot of touring, a lot of long distance riding. When they came out with the Limited, it just seemed like it really fit our riding style and what we do. So first thoughts on the bike riding it home is very nimble. Kind of crazy moving up to something with a full Grand Tour pack on it and a bit heavier bike, and the full Limited really didn't notice the difference. It just felt light and nimble. So what's new in 26 on the Limiteds here? One of the things you see right from the front when you look at it is you get the lower fairings, and that's a really nice add. So right from the factory, I added those to the 23.5, but they block a bit of wind. They give you a little extra storage down in here. You can also put speakers in there. You can have up to 8 speakers on this bike if you want to cut the lids and put some there too. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. Come with highway pegs, 117 engine, and in particular, it's the VVT, so the variable valve timing. And one of the things you get with the VVT that's very nice is a wider torque band, so you get better torque throughout the RPM range, as well as improved fuel efficiency, fuel economy. So I know with the 121 and the VVT in it, it was amazing. The number of miles I could get on that. People would be looking to fill up, and I would still have 3/8 of a tank left, right? One of the things we did right off is we did a different air cleaner. So this is the Vortex air cleaner, new from Harley this year. When I looked at them in the catalog, I thought kind of ugly, didn't really like them. And then I saw them on a bike, and I decided I really did like it. So went with a Vortex air cleaner and some Khrome Werks pipes and a Screaming Eagle street tune. Keeps it all within the warranty and everything for now on a brand new bike, and gives us a little bit of extra power, but the sound we all want. One of the other big things new here is the Grand Tour pack this year. So they redesigned the Tour pack, much more sleek looking. The tail light is embedded into the unit now as opposed to an appendage on it. What you see when you look inside is that you do lose a little bit of space where the tail light's embedded back there. But one of the things they did is made this so you can fit 2 full-size helmets in here. And we kind of tested that out at the dealership with a couple 2XL helmets. So you can set them upright or tip them on their side, and it definitely holds 2 full-size, full-face helmets. So one of the things you might notice here right away is the heated seat. They put a much more comfortable touring seat on this. The stock seat that came on my 23.5 CVO was pretty rough. I didn't make it more than a couple hundred miles and decided that needed to go. I'm hoping that this seat is good for the long haul. It's also a heated seat for both the driver and the passenger with 2 settings for each. So, reasonable looking seat, and so far first ride home, pretty comfortable. So, we'll see when we go out and get a couple hours in the saddle what she feels like. So obviously you get the painted inner fairing with this bike. That's a nice add, and the 12.3-inch Skyline display. So, and a taller windshield. Actually nice, blocked the wind pretty well coming home. I have a Klock Werks windshield en route that's supposed to be here within the next day or so. I'll get that put on. I wanted a dark smoke. I just like something that looks a little more attractive than a clear windshield, but functionally that windshield was doing the job on the ride home. One of the other things we did to the bike right out of shoot is switched up the audio system on it. We went to Rockford Fosgate Stage 3, which is what I had in my last bike. Yes, you can go sounds or hertz or any number of other aftermarket audio systems, but I found that the Stage 3 for me was plenty loud enough, plenty clear at highway speeds, and just a very good deal all around. So that involved replacing the 4 speakers and the amp. The amp that was in here, I believe, was a 200 watt amp. And to do Stage 3, you needed a 500 watt amp, so we swapped that out. But yeah, looking forward to getting some miles on this bad boy. And let's see where we go from here. A lot of adventures ahead, and you should see this in a whole bunch of videos this year. So within hopefully a couple weeks, we should have my wife's new toy, and we'll do a similar walk around on that. So I'm going to leave you hanging as to what she got, but looking forward to getting both of them out on the road. All right, got the new bike home, got a few things on it. Take her out for a little shakedown cruise. Very smooth first impression. It's supposed to be raining all day today. It's not. A little sunshine, more storms and rain coming tonight. Hopefully it'll wash some of the sand off the road. Kind of an early warm up here in early March. It was enough to go get the bike and bring it home and eyeballing a nice ride on Sunday and Monday. And then it's going to get cold for a few days, so it is what it is this time of the year, and ride when you can. So this is the 2026 Road Glide Limited in olive steel, metallic, and black. When it first came out in the catalog, I'm like, green, I can't do a green bike. And then I saw it in person and kind of warmed up to it, and the more I'm around it since I bought it, I'm really learning to like it. Looks nice in the sunshine. There's a metal flake in it that really pops, and it's kind of sharp, something a little different. So why did I gravitate to a limited? Well, we do a lot of touring. We're putting on, the last couple of years we put on about 14,000 miles a year, and nice to have a bike that's really set up for long haul touring, having the luggage capacity, being able to put a full face helmet back in the trunk again. That was a nice addition with the Grand Tour package. The other thing that's sort of happened over time here is the big touring bikes have become a lot more nimble. The center of gravity's gotten lower. They continue to take more weight out of the bike. I forget how many pounds they took out of this version of the Limited, but it's certainly lighter than its predecessors. And I'll tell you, coming off just a road glide with either no tour pack, or sometimes I rode the Chop tour pack, initial impression here is I'm not noticing a great deal of difference in the weight of the bike. You might be able to see in the video, one of the things I swapped out right away here, I had an order incoming, was swapped out the stock windshield. It was a nice windshield, tall, blocked the wind sufficiently, but it was clean. And I don't know, I just got to have a little dark smoke in my windshield and a little styling going on. So I got the Klock Werks 12-inch Pro Touring Flare, and so far so good. Let's kind of check here. Yeah, the wind is just over the top of my helmet, so pretty much out of the buffeting, going 60 miles an hour. And it feels good. Looking over the top of it, we made the right choice. Being that it's 51 degrees today, I'll tell you that the heated seat on the low setting is pretty toasty. Between that and the heated grips, nice. This bike comes equipped with heated gear connections for both a rider and passenger. Unfortunately, the leads that Harley puts under the seat are barely enough to get out to the edge, and not long enough for my heated jacket to stay connected. So we've got a extension lead on the way. The other thing you may notice in trying different this year is have a chin-mounted camera as well, just maybe as an alternate. I don't know if I'll ride through that a good share of the time, but I have an Insta360 Ace Pro 2, and just for a variety. I had it last year. I used it for a lot of shots off the bike. Got a chin mount for my helmet this year to try it, just to see what we get. So what's on the docket for this year? What can you expect to see on the channel? Well, as usual, we're going to do a bunch of riding in the Driftless. We'll do lots of day rides, trying to explore different parts of the Driftless, and maybe try and find some roads and some stops and places that we haven't featured yet last year. We're hosting the 2026 Great Lakes H.O.G Rally again this year in Chippewa Falls, so we'll spend a lot of time on that. That's 3 days from June 11th to the 13th, so if you're a H.O.G member and haven't signed up or registered for that rally, I'd encourage you to do so. We've got about 30 rides planned, dozen of those each day are guided rides. We got activities and bands at the fairgrounds at the end of the day in Chippewa Falls each night. We hosted this in 2024. It was very well received, and we were asked if we would host it again. And so we're doing. Beyond that, working on a couple of trips for this year. Gonna head out west and kind of toying with either western Colorado or Idaho. Actually looked at possibly going east to up through Canada and up into the Adirondacks and the White Mountains and the Washington Auto Road, but there's a strong force that always pulls me west. Right now we're kind of leaning towards Idaho. Never been riding in Idaho, and I think there's some epic roads out there. So looking forward to that trip. A little bit later in the year, we're going to head down to the Ozarks and spend a few days down there, do some riding. We're going to spend some time in northern Wisconsin, up in the Lake Country, Bayfield County, the area just south of Lake Superior. And we're going to spend some time down in the southern Driftless and even over towards Decorah, Iowa. There's some things we want to check out down that way. So that's just sort of a taste of what we have coming this year. So look forward to seeing some of that stuff in the videos as we go through the summer and next fall. Well, this is one smooth riding rig. The suspension on this is, well, it's still a stock suspension. I have to say, I'm impressed. It's set up very nicely. Well, we set up the preload for my weight, but it's right now. I'm not sure which way I would adjust it. It's we'll see when we get on a little bit rougher roads, but very nice, very smooth, flush suspension. Obviously, this is set up for more of a touring suspension than what I had on my previous bike. We'll see how it feels in the farm. So, 50 miles in, my initial impressions, awesome. Loving every minute of it. It's going to be a great bike. Feels good, smooth, handles really well. We'll give you some more thoughts on it after we get a few more miles and hours in the saddle, but really looking forward to the year ahead. We'll do that as a wrap for this video, and look forward to a couple more coming out from our, we'll call them first rides of the year. We'll call this a shakedown cruise, and first 2 rides of the year coming up in a couple days here, so look forward for those videos coming up soon. I hope you follow the channel and enjoy some of the rides we're going to do this year, and subscribe, comment, interact with the channel. Try my best to respond to every comment I get on the channel, so reach out, leave a comment, subscribe, and let's enjoy the Driftless together. Come on along for the ride.